welcome to a socially distanced Crash Bang Wallop. I'm going to walk you around the building just so that you're familiar with it before you come for your first class. So before classes, people will queue up outside. We can't put markers on the floor, but please queue 2 metres apart before the class. The teachers will come and collect you from the door, so can I ask that pupils for classes don't come straight into the building. Wait at the door you've been allocated and then move to your studio. So the door we're at here, the main door, this is obviously the main way into the building. If we've got more than one class on, so Saturday Morning Academy or the summer courses where we're in a number of studios, we'd ask people to use different doors. So I'll talk you through that as we go around, but if you're coming and you're the only class on that night, this is the main door you use. We have sanitizer here to use as you come in, and in you come through the door. There's another sanitizing point just inside the door, in case you missed the outside one. The 2 toilets here, the boys' toilet will be allocated to anyone who is using the upstairs drama studio, Studio 1 for classes. The girls' toilet will be allocated to anyone who is using the theatre. So what that means is we haven't got a boy-girl split, and they're unisex toilets. Inside the girls' toilet, it's worth noting that this cubicle on the left is no longer in use. So to make sure we only have one person in at a time, it's 1 in, 1 out. That one's blocked off. This is the cubicle we use inside the toilets. You've got soap, you've got hot water, and you've got paper towels, so no fabric towels anymore. Paper towels, they go in the bin when you use them. There is sanitizer on the wall between the toilets. Please use the sanitizer before you go into the toilets, and also when you come out the toilets, just to make sure we are keeping sanitary. Inside the toilets, there will also be a spray bottle on the sink. What we'd ask you to do after you have used the toilet, please spray down the flush handle, the toilet seat, the handle of the toilet door, and the taps on the sink before you leave. That way, making sure the next person that goes in, we don't inadvertently pass on any viruses or other germs. So as we move through the building, the kitchen is out of bounds. That's staff only, so no pupils allowed in the kitchen at all, please. We've taped off, you'll see a load of our scenery and furniture that's now living in the foyer. Again, please don't fiddle with that. There's a barrier there to make sure we don't touch it. Studio 3, the old singing room, has become a costume cupboard. That is out of bounds, no pupil access in there. So I'll take you up the stairs now to Studio 1. Props cupboard, out of bounds, please, no access, never has been really, but certainly no access now to pupils. Sanitizer here, on your way into the studio, please use it. Even if you've used the one downstairs, please use it again before you come into the studio. All doors around the building, aside from the toilets, will be propped open, so that you're not having to touch doors as you go, and we obviously can't prop open toilet doors for obvious reasons. In you come into the studio, and you'll see it looks very different for those that have been before. Chairs are laid out around the side of the room. There's 2 metre gap between each chair. Chairs are numbered, so every class you will be allocated a chair number. So for example, Dan Brooks might be allocated chair number 2. That will be my chair. That's the only chair I use. I'm the only person that sits on that chair. No one else uses that chair. There is also sanitizer just next to the door as well. So as you come out of the studio, you sanitize your hands. So every time you walk through a door, sanitizing the way in, sanitizing the way out. The studio looks different. We've got spaces on the floor, so that if you're in a dance class or indeed an acting class, you can see a safe distance. You can stay in your own square, you can stay a safe distance from other people in a dance class. If you're in an acting class, you obviously can move between the squares, but you might find it's useful just to gauge the 2 metre distance when you're in rehearsals. No acting teacher, dance teacher, singing teacher will ask you to move within less than 2 metres of any other students. The door between the 2 studios is not to be used because you don't know who's in the studio just on the other side of the door. We are going to use it now just so you can see where we're going, but no pupils through this door. So for a lot of you, you won't have seen Studio 2 because it's a long time since it looked like this, and it's taken a long time to get it back like this. Again, chairs around the outside of the room, toilets in the corner for Studio 2, so you use the toilet within your room, which is nice and simple. There's sanitizer again, just before you go into the toilets for you to use. Same system in the toilets, so paper towels, spray everything down after you've left the toilet, please, or as you leave the toilet. Your way into this studio won't be through that past door, it'll be up this staircase. And as you come into the classroom again, as you guess, sanitizer. we're into the theatre space. Now the theatre space is going to be used for little bits of teaching, and when it is, it'll be marked out with the squared pattern on the floor. It's also going to be used for our performances this summer, and although they're going to be live stream shows and there's not going to be an audience physically sitting there, we don't want lines across the floor for the show. So what we'll do is we'll rehearse with the squared pattern on the floor, we'll peel it up, we'll do a performance. So as you can see, this space is great not only for shows, but it's also really good for big space in classes. If you are rehearsing in this room, and the rehearsal schedules and the information we send out to class will make it really clear who's in what room. If you're in this room, you won't enter through the foyer and through the main doors. You'll enter through this fire door here, which will be open, and there'll be a table outside that allows you to sanitise your hands on the way into the class. Again, there's a sanitising point by the main door, so if you do need to go to the toilet, to your allocated toilet, and you've got sanitiser there, you've got sanitiser on your way back into this room as well. And just to finish with, if you are in the upstairs room, that we've just come down the stairs from, your entrance will be, I'll take you around this way, you'll come down the stairs from upstairs, you'll come round this back corridor. For those that have performed in the theatre, this should be second nature to you. And you will access the building via our stage door. So you'll go in and out this way, and when you arrive for your class, this is really important for people in the academy or those that are doing things like Mary Poppins Week, where we're using all the rooms. There's the fire door that our theatre class going through. You'll queue up down the side here and wait for your class. And if you're in the upstairs room, you'll queue up here and wait for your class. And the sanitising table will just be sitting here, so you can use the table, sanitise and head to your class. So that is your look around Crash Bang Wallop. We hope you feel safe while you're in the building. All of our teachers will be making sure social distance is adhered to. As you can see, there's enough sanitiser to sink a ship in the building, and we've got important procedures in place for cleaning the studios. And there is another film you can watch if you're interested to see how we clean the theatre. Thank you.